Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. And it's been a little while since I made a video, and that's because I live in Texas and I haven't had power between Sunday night around 1 to 3 a.m. and we got our power back Wednesday around 6 in the afternoon. So, like 2.5 days worth of power. We didn't have it, and so I didn't want to use uh, my phone battery to record videos and upload videos. But in today's video, I was going to talk about that story. For those of you that have watched my other videos, I talk about different things that I've purchased for prepping. And so I'll just give out my story, what I did, um, what I used to, survive the situation, and things that I want to improve on in the future. So we knew it was going to get cold. Um, I live down near Corpus Christi, and it was going to be pretty cold for us as well. And so the first thing we did is we cranked on our heater and turned it up to 80. Um, and then we kind of went out, picked up some extra food and stuff, and went out to eat that night. And then came home, and we had a bunch of blankets. I pulled out my army sleeping bag, the green and the black piece. I didn't pull out the bivy sack because I wasn't planning on getting wet. Um, I had another sleeping bag rated for 35 degrees for my fiance, and we just kind of waited. We knew it was going to get cold. We didn't know if we were going to lose power or not. But we probably should have known because the energy company that we went with gets 95+% of their energy from the windmills in the farm outside of Corpus Christi. So the power went out, and the first night we were fine. It stayed above 70. And then throughout that whole first day, it started getting colder and colder. I still had to go to work. I'm in college right now, so I was still working on class stuff. I was having to type up assignments and use my phone data to look at the assignments, and then I would have to uh, drive to a friend's house, use his Wi-Fi, and upload the assignments. And then I work 5 nights a week between 5 and 10, and we were pretty slammed because a lot of people. I mean, I could tell that a lot of people aren't prepared because they had to have a hot meal delivered to them because they didn't have a way to warm up something, or they didn't want to eat milk and cereal. Um, or it could have been a comfort because the kids don't have power and it's starting to get cold, and maybe they don't have the same things that I had. And so I would wake up in the morning around 8 or 9. I could sleep in a little bit because the morning classes were pushed back. I would get a big fire roaring in the fireplace. So other thing is we went downstairs to sleep, shut all the doors upstairs, and hung up a blanket for the stairs going up. So we didn't want any of the hot air going up into the second floor of our townhome. And so I had a fireplace going, and we scooted the couch closer to the fireplace, and that would warm us up. And through a combination of these guys, I had some kerosene lanterns, hand warmers. You know, during the day after schoolwork was done, we kind of just sat under the blankets. Most of the cats and the dog would lay down on top, um, and we shared body heat. And we would either download episodes of something to watch on our phones. We pulled out, Monopoly. We played Magic the Gathering. All stuff that doesn't require electricity, except for watching stuff on our phone. Um, I didn't bring any of them up here. Maybe I did. No. But I've got some 20,000 milliamp hour battery banks that we got like 6.5 charges on our phone off of them. And I would charge it in the car while I'm delivering pizza. And so both of those, we made sure they were topped off. And at night, we'd huddle under the blankets. If we were using hand warmers and putting them in the bottom of the sleeping bag, just to warm the feet up some more. And we would, I'd wake up in the morning, light the fireplace, keep feeding wood into it. Before I left for work, I'd feed more wood into it. When I came home from work, it was normally a nice bit of coals. Sometimes it would, burn all the way out. Because really, if you don't have anything to do, you tend to just sleep and stay warm. Uh, and then before I went to bed, we'd load up the fireplace, get it nice and roaring hot, and then go to sleep. And we normally wake up, and sometimes there were coals, and sometimes there were not. I did most of my cooking with these Coleman butane propane mixes. I had two of the just single burners that screw on top. And a lot of the meals that we were eating, I didn't get into, freeze-dried food or anything. But we made a lot of one-pot meals. So, for instance, like I used this for one night. We just threw some chili in one, ate chili. I mixed up some pinto beans and rice and ground beef, and then I think spaghetti sauce, and made a weird concoction. But the main point is we were using one container. The whole meal went in, and it's normally like a stew or a soup or something. If we weren't doing that, then we were using a pan, and same philosophy, cooking everything in the pan. So I'd cook the bacon first for breakfast, then the eggs. One day, we got a little entertaining, and then did pork chops after that. And that way, we only had to wash one pan. My cats, I got the door shut in here because I don't want them messing around, and they are really, really wanting in this room. So I think I'll let the one in here. Let's see. Let's point it down here. You want it in here? Where are you going? We took the futon mattress downstairs and slept in front of the fire one night, just getting real close with it. So she'll stay in here until this video is done with. And so I get off work around 10 o'clock, come home. We use the lanterns. We normally play a few more games. Sometimes one night we went and sat out in the car with the heater on, and we would take a cat with us and leave them in the car for a little bit, and then come back in, switch them out, and kind of warmed them up that way. I don't think there was an issue with them. None of them are showing signs of having been too cold. But the other thing I did is, most of my friends that I have in classes with me and through ROTC and everything, I told them, if you need any advice on what to do, hit me up. One of them came over. I showed them my little setup, and they went to Walmart before everyone kind of the issue with this storm is a lot of people thought the power would be out for like a day or a half a day. And so the panic buying of it didn't set in until the city of Corpus Christi said, we don't think all power will be restored until Friday. And they said that, late Tuesday, early Wednesday, I don't remember. And so, showing them, what to do, how to stay warm, and mainly, even if your heater's out, if you have a sleeping bag and you can crawl inside of that and it's rated for the temperature, or at least close enough rated, to what the weather is, then you should be fine sleeping. You're probably not going to want to get out of that unless you're going to work. But that was, the story of what happened with us. Things that I would like to change for the future. I've been looking. I have the Goal Zero, like their little 15-watt panel that folds up, and they advertised it as hanging off of your like hiking pack, and it had a little power source for it. Um, and then I know they've made bigger ones where you can have stuff that can you know keep a mini fridge running for 40 hours or whatever. But I think the Jackery series, they make a 240, a 500, and 1,000, and maybe a 100. I don't remember. But Jackery or the Kodiak system, either one will work fine for me. Um, that way, as much as I enjoyed lighting a fire, and my jacket is probably going to smell like smoke for the next month. Uh, Having to get out of your sleeping bag to put more wood on the fire was not fun. Um, I had enough wood stored up in my garage. I only went through about half of what I had in the garage, so probably about a week's worth of firewood. And now another one wants in. So a week's worth of firewood in the garage, but I didn't have enough small stuff and tinder to really get the big logs going. Do you want to come in too? Come on. Come on. There you go. Oh, no. No dog. All right. We'll just stick it with one cat in here. So I want more smaller firewood in the range of like a pencil thickness up to about a thumb. That way, I'm not using as much propane to get it started or having to use cardboard or paper or stuff that I wouldn't have wanted to use. Uh, I had, like I said, about a week's worth of, 3 to 6, 7 inch logs stored up. And I split some of it. And in hindsight, I wish I would have split a lot more of it into thinner stuff. But when it's cold, you don't want to do that. It's allowed when you do it in your apartment. In the garage, it's cold. So having a power station that I can charge phones that way. I have a mini fridge that I could have put, the yogurt, the milk, and a couple other things inside of that, and just ran that instead of trying to run the full size fridge. Um, More hand warmers. I felt like I had a lot more than what I did. We had like 10 packs, and we burned through that. I think we have 2 packs left of that. Um, did just fine with the number of lighters that I have. The tea light candles, they work great for lighting, um, and they work great. You put them on a cookie tray, and you light, 5 or 10 of them. And when you're sitting on the couch, you stick your hands over them, warm your hands up. They work great for that. Only have like an hour and a half, 2 hour burn time. Uh, and a lot of them, they were just burning straight down the middle. And, the wick would burn out, but there was still, a third of the wax left. Didn't have to use any medical supplies. Did have to take Dayquil for a little bit because I think we got a little cold, especially in that long period of us kind of sleeping in and the fire dying out. Giving the pets food and water because about halfway through we went to a water boil. Having 1 gallon water stored up and about 30 2-liter bottles of soda stored up, I was able to, with 7 cats and a dog, you go through a lot of water. And so being able to use the 2-liter bottles for that was great. We used one to efficiently flush the toilet because we ran out of water. Because they shut our water off. At first, it was a water boil, and then certain pipes were bursting all over the place. And luckily, a lot of preppers, they really like to talk about the awesome guns that they have and how they're going to survive the zombie apocalypse. But this wasn't that kind of emergency. Uh, so this guy didn't have to get used. Uh, it was all the resources that you have stored up to survive that individual situation. So I'm glad this didn't have to get used, but it's a prepping item nonetheless. And so power was out 2.5, almost 3 days. FEMA, for the longest time, have said have food and water stored in your house. Have a 72-hour bag with you that you can leave your uh, area and have 2 weeks worth of food and water stored in your house. Based off of the shelves at Walmart and HEB, and we even went to a Sprouts. Fiance likes that store. I don't really get anything from it. Looking around for some more ground beef because we wanted to mix sausage and ground beef for dirty rice just to try it. And couldn't find any, so we just had sausage in our dirty rice. But definitely a lot of people in my area were not prepared for this. Went to Home Depot. They were closed for everything except for emergencies. And really, the only emergencies they were letting people in for was getting plumbing stuff for broken pipes. Because, I stopped and asked if they had any propane heaters, grills, wood, anything, and they said they were completely out. My Walmart had already transitioned all of their heaters out. They had one brand in stock, and that aisle was all fans. I'm pretty sure no one wants a fan right now. So, video is getting a little long, so we'll cut this now. The point of this video is, for one, I survived. I'm still here. It's been like a week since I posted a video, or half a week. I don't know. I told you about the preps that I've stored away that I use to keep my life as functioning as it should, as close to normally functioning as possible. I imagine most people don't keep alternative ways to cook their food unless they have a grill. Most people don't keep lanterns and candles as stocked up as I do, and or as other preppers. And so the point of this video is to show a real world scenario that played out, how I survived it, what I did, and hopefully what I talked about in this video will bring other people to the prepping community. And those in the prepping community, you could probably say in the comment section down below, just comment, I did fine, I did great, it sucked, I'm a new prepper. Those are 3 things you can comment down below. And if you're a new prepper and you're watching this video, or you are seeing all across the news, 4 to 5 million people didn't have power, they were cold, food lines are long, gas lines are long. It's a perfect example of, what a natural event. We're not just prepping for a zombie apocalypse and, a Red Dawn scenario. It's everyday things that, as simple as a power outage while it's cold, you can see why having preps is important. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking it. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you have a friend or family member that would benefit from watching this video, then share it with them. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.